The Saints continue their decade of dominance in fall sports.
Here are some incredible moments from cross-country running, soccer, football, and volleyball.
Thanksgiving run is one of the oldest school traditions
and marks the end of the fall term.
There's a chill in the air, and that means two things.
That's right, Patrick. Winter sports and Andrew Christmas.
The Spring Smash Charity Fundraiser.
Who says you can't have fun and raise money for a good cause at the same time?
Shine a light on, shine a light on me.
Saints continue to show they're the best in the league.
Let's have a look at some spring sports. Baseball, cricket, lacrosse, tennis, cycling.
SAC students use their skill and resources to help those in need.
Yes, Will, a prosthetic hand created by our engineering class is going to help someone in Costa Rica.
'Cause I was lost at sea while the waves were dragging me underneath. Shine a light on, shine a light on me. Shine a light on, shine a light on me.
Focus, our annual festival of plays.
More than 100 students are taking part in over 30 productions.